Welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. We are visiting with Marisa Roan and Tony Burke, both from Stark State College, and good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
This is my favorite week when we get to talk to all the colleges and universities that are in our area. How many people, how many radio programs could fill a full week of programming talking to a different college or university every single day? That is just how blessed our community really is with great higher education opportunities. So let's talk about Stark State and what is happening there. First of all, both of you are relatively new. Marisa, you've been there how long now?
2 years.
And Tony?
A little less than a year.
Well, let me ask both of you, what surprised you, if anything, as you've started working with Stark State College, opportunities that you might not have been aware of?
Well, for me, Susie, I grew up in Stark County, and I always knew Stark State was sitting there on Frank Avenue. I always knew that it existed, but I think what has been most surprising for me are the opportunities that students have when they attend Stark State, not only just to get that associate degree that gets them an in-demand job or a certificate, but the opportunity to seamlessly transfer to other universities and colleges and save on 2 years of tuition with Stark State's high-quality education at such a low price. I think when you really dive in and look at the programs and the opportunities that are offered at the college, it's just an amazing world to unravel and discover what's right in your own backyard.
Mm-hmm. Tony, how about you?
For me, it was how nice Marisa is. No,
that was a surprise.
Yeah, no, it was great. Actually, I think for me, it's been just how talented our instructors and our professors and things are. They've been in the business, and I know when I went to school, that was the big thing for me. Is I always learned more from people who are actually doing it, and these people have. So the thing that has just amazed me is kind of the technology that we have, and these students are leaving, and they're ready to do whatever they need to do to be successful, whether they want to go 2 more years to a college and earn a bachelor's degree, or if they just want to go in the workforce. And there's so many jobs out there in this area that it amazes me the level of tutoring they're receiving from the people we have on staff, and that to me has been just stunning.
It is kind of very exciting to see and I just saw some kind of a statistic saying that this is number 2 in the country.
Canton, yep.
Yes, as far as soon as you're out of school, jobs are ready and you are prepared for them. Another great reason to have so many great educational opportunities. But the things that people are looking for, like experts in gas and oil and so forth, those seems to be your wheelhouse, yes?
Absolutely. I mean, we have such unique programs that meet the current demands of the workforce that's out there. You mentioned the oil and gas program. We are training people in those jobs that are not going away, that are continuing to be needed. It's kind of in that middle stream area. We're continuing to grow those programs. You talk about welding, which is in extreme demand right now in our community. We're training those welders and getting them out there and into the workforce, all the way to medical assistants and nurses in the healthcare field, and just everything in between. It runs the gamut, and it's exciting that we're able to fill those gaps and have those niches within those markets.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see a trend that you have older students, somebody that's done something, and then they've even perhaps retired from a first career and decide, okay, now it's time to do chapter 2. I want to learn something brand new. I think I'm going to be a welder.
Well, our average student is a 29-year-old female, so we have, we have that where people are coming back to us because they want to do something or something new. But there's a lot of youth. I was out at the Akron-Canton, or the Akron location, which is new for us, and I'll tell you, it's a young demographic that was there. So I think it's a mixture of both, and it's neat because you have that there, and you have the youth coming in that keeps it vibrant and new and that kind of thing. So for me, it's been it's a unique mix that I love. It's right in that middle time where you see married with children and you see those that are just getting their educational process started, and it's kind of nice.
And let's peel that back a little bit, because what does that do to a classroom environment when you've got a 60-year-old, a 40-year-old, and a 20-year-old all together learning together?
I think it makes for a great mix, and it's a great opportunity for them to learn from each other. I mean, you look at the technology today and how that's playing a role, and let's face it, the youth of our world are at a great advantage with that. I mean, most children can pick up any device and know how to use it, and they can help some of the older folks. And then the life experience from the older folks, translating to the younger folks is I just think it makes for a dynamic classroom environment that really helps everybody learn from each other.
That's nice. You mentioned the associate's degree, but you really have worked very diligently to make sure that if someone wants to turn that into a baccalaureate degree, they can. You have a 2+2 degree or a 3+1 degree. What does that mean, and how does that work?
If you go to our website and you look at our university partnerships page, you'll see that we have what we call articulation agreements, which are partnerships with more than 30 colleges and universities, everyone from The Ohio State University, University of Akron, Malone University, Walsh, all of our local education partners, where students can start a certain degree or program at Stark State, and then it just seamlessly transitions into that 4-year degree. After they do 2 years at Stark State, they do their last 2 years at whatever the university or college is that the agreement is with. And it just helps that seamless transfer for students who really are looking for that 4-year degree. Maybe they're coming to Stark State because they're not sure what they're interested in just yet. They want to find what they're looking for. They wanted, lower cost for the first 2 years. Just trying to find their way. And then they see that there's these different pipelines of opportunities with the very institutions that they probably are interested in graduating from with a bachelor's degree.
And a huge surprise, I think some people will be surprised by this anyway, NeoUmed and the PharmD program. Now, I think of NeoUmed as something that you really have to have a lot of background before you're ready to go into medical school. 4 years and 4 years and then 3 years residency and so forth. There's an amazing fast track from you. Let's talk about that.
So a student can come to Stark State College and get an associate's degree in one of our sciences, chemistry, biology, plus maybe 10 more credit hours. And then they can go through and be directly admitted if they pass the test and the interview process at NeoMed for their PharmD program. Mm-hmm. And currently we have about 10 students who've been directly admitted to NeoMed from Stark State. Every semester we get a few more that apply and a few more that are accepted. And we've been told by NeoMed that oftentimes it's our students who are tutoring the other students, that is the quality and caliber of the science degrees at Stark State, that we're producing these students who can go right into a PharmD program.
That's incredible when you think about it. And they're coming to you straight out of high school?
Sometimes it's non-traditional students.
Okay.
A lot of times, and you have to think about that. If you already did high school, maybe you did a little bit of college and you're coming back, a lot of times these are the students who are more focused. They're more ready to get out there, get their degree, and move on so they can support their families. And so it's a mix. We've had quite a mix with that program of non-traditional and traditional age students.
I don't want to pop quiz you on anything that you're not ready to talk about, but what kind of classroom experience do you offer that prepares somebody that well to be able to go straight up to NeoMed?
I think it's our small class sizes. We have professors that, to Tony's point earlier, have real-world experience. They know what you need to know. We have folks that are retired from Goodyear Aerospace. We have people who've, been in the field and working, and they know what the students need to know. But that small class size and professors that have enough office hours to help the students. We have success coaches for students who need that extra hand in making sure that they're grasping the material and retaining what they're learning. Just all sorts of resources are available at Stark State that I think a lot of people are not aware of that can help a student succeed. But ultimately, I do believe that it's our professors. I mean, we have high-quality professors with great experience that are there for their students.
So you streamline them into the PharmD program, and then what are they prepared to do? Go into work in a pharmacy?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I was going to say, to Maurice's point, the professors, if you walk down to that health, I mean, it's like that all the way around, but you go to the health area, they are so passionate about the kids there and the students. It's amazing. And then if you need something, they can pick up the phone because they know people in the business. They can call Altman, or they can call, Akron Children's or something like that and say, hey, can you help us with blank? Or how are our students doing there for externships or things of that nature? So I think it's not only the fact that they're terrific. They have the resources, they have the network, and they also have the passion for all their students. And you see that as soon as you walk down there. I mean, I remember that the first week I was at Stark State. They are a unique, wonderful group.
And it sounds like you're already getting quite the reputation for being a great place to go if you want to go into pharmaceuticals or to become a pharmacist. That used to be you headed to Ada, Ohio. We all knew that. But now locally, students can know you go right here. Stay home.
Right.
Speaking of staying home, you're brilliant. Tell me about this new campaign that you've got going with SARTA to pick up students. My gosh, how perfect. High school kids are used to getting picked up by the bus and taken to school. Why not work with SARTA and take college students to school? Was that the thinking behind it?
Yeah, Maurice and I would love to take credit for making this happen, but
we're not going to.
We're not. Well, don't want to do that in case the people that were actually responsible are listening. Yes, actually, this is wonderful because it gives students that may have thought, okay, I don't have the transportation means to get an education. Well, this kind of eliminates part of that, right? So there's the new route is the 88, which will get students basically from Canton to Akron and back. And then there's 34 fixed routes that SARTA has with our students that just show them your ID. And this is students, faculty, and staff. So they show our Stark State ID, and they ride for nothing. So it's a wonderful opportunity, and takes out maybe one of those things, because we hear all kinds of things as to why students can't go to school. And a lot of it sometimes is transportation. This kind of takes that element out of it.
And I think that, to Tony's point, that we didn't come up with this fantastic idea. I recall a couple times Dr. Jones referencing the fact that students from Akron had come to her specifically and said, it takes 2.5 hours for me to get from Akron, by the time you change buses and get down here to Stark State. And it's impossible for me to continue because I can't do that. And so this Route 88 that takes the students directly in a 30-minute route, but hopefully 30 minutes between Stark State and Akron Metro is just going to be truly a saving grace for many of those students, and then the free rides for all students.
Let me just emphasize that word, free rides. This is free, no cost.
Yep.
That is saving them time and money at the same time. And what a nice thing to do for your faculty. My goodness.
Right. And it's important. I mean, it's important that you don't want that to ever be a reason why somebody doesn't better their careers, lives, futures, things of that nature. I think this just helps take one element that they don't have to worry about anymore. They've got enough. The parents have child care or whatever it may be to try to make this happen, but this takes out one of those concerns they may have going back to school.
What does your registration cycle look like?
Well, we actually have open enrollment, so students or prospective students can go at any time to our website or to our Gateway Center on the main campus or any of our locations in Barberton, Alliance, Akron, and downtown Canton, and enroll, go through their testing, and then receive their admission so that they can register during those registration timeframes, which are always up on our website. You'll see the slider is always changed out if it isn't time to register for classes. And then we also have what we call Accelerate, which are second 8-week courses. So any semester, actually it's fall or spring, if you think you missed registration, there's typically an opportunity for 8 weeks into the semester to hit some of those courses in an 8-week accelerated format.
And you accept all forms of what kind of grants, loans, scholarships? What's available to help pay?
Boy, that one's probably more up your alley. Yeah.
Yes. Well, not only do we have a fantastic financial aid office that will walk them through Pell Grants and loans, whether they're federal or non, we also have our foundation, which has ample scholarship opportunities. If you visit starkstate.edu/foundation, you can find our scholarships page, and there is a scholarship opportunity for everyone out there. So I encourage anyone who's looking to apply at Stark State to go to that page as well if you're thinking it's not going to be affordable. By the time you finish with your financial aid opportunities and look at our scholarship opportunities, I think it should be affordable for everyone.
We're visiting with Maurice Arone and Tony Burke from Stark State College. Going to take a quick break, and we'll be back after these words. You're listening to Our Community.